think I just won my taxes.
settle in. We are starting soon. We are simulcast on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you for hanging out with us this morning. We are just getting the last ducks in a row. And we'll be good to go.
Is everybody in? Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The ceremony is about to begin.
What's going on, everybody? Good morning. How you doing? It is a beautiful Saturday morning. It is the 5th. We got a lot of sports action to get through today. We're going to talk a lot about it. A lot on the discussion today, not only in the sports world, but what's going on around us as well in terms of politics, stock market, recession, the whole nine. We're going to break it down. Got my co-host, W. Duval, waiting in the wings. Thank you for being patient with us this morning, and let's get the show started.
Broadcasting from the capital of sports, it's the Matty B Show. Right here on Epis Sports Radio. Matty B on Epis Sports Radio.
Swung on and into the air. To deep right center. That ball is high. That is far. It is gone. Very deep is right. Hits one deep to left field. Headley back near the wall.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. It's your boy, Matty B, Epis Sports Radio. You got my boy, W. Dubois. How we doing? We got a lot of sports action to get going and talk about today. The Mets won their home opener. I was down there in Citi Field yesterday. It was a beautiful day for a ball game. Great atmosphere, and thank God the Mets found a way to get a nice little win there. A stress-free win at that, a 5-0 shutout, and start to feel a little bit good about the season. The Yankees, Bronx Bombers, they continue to bomb away with their torpedo bats. Status quo with them is just phenomenal what they've done. A lot of controversy about those bats. We're gonna get into it today. I haven't had a chance to speak on it, neither has Dub, since our last show. We did a last show. It was about last week Thursday. So a little bit past a week. Been a little busy this week. I'm just coming fresh off my marathon run, running the Queens Marathon last Sunday. So I'm about almost a week removed from that, and all rested and healed and good and, feeling all right. I was still battling sickness all week. I finally feel really good now. So thank you. You could hear it in my voice. So, Dub, anyway, we're headed up. The country's headed towards a recession. The stock market's about to crash. We've lost over, $3 trillion in the stock market in the last couple of days. Obviously, stock market closed today, but a lot going on. Trump puts these tariffs on countries all over the world, except Russia, apparently, and even put some tariffs on some penguins in a country that has a population of 0. So, or an island of a population of 0. So what's going on, Dub? A lot going on, man. How are you, bro?
It's been a little bit since we've been here, so the world don't stop because we took a couple days off. The NASDAQ, huh?
Oh man, it's been insane, right? Everything's down, bro. Everything's down.
Yeah,
It's seems to be the word is that we're headed towards a recession now. Again, the most similar comparison is back in 2008 when the stock market crashed, and I believe rightfully went into recession then. And that a rough time for obviously a lot of really middle income to low income families. If you're of the wealthy here, you're going to be fine. You're going to survive. And honestly, if you are of the 1% or even just financially able, this is a time in which you could actually make some money. So,
maybe that's the point.
Yeah, maybe that is the point. Maybe that is the point for that 1%. I don't get it anymore. To be honest with you, listen. I'm no Harvard grad. I don't know enough about finance to speak on it in big terms, but I like to invest a little. I like to read up on it a little. I don't get the point of these reciprocated tariffs. I just don't see it. It doesn't make any sense. I get that other countries are putting tariffs on us, but America as a society and bigger than any other society out there and bigger than any country out there is a consumer society. We're based on consumerism, so, putting these reciprocated tariffs, I don't understand how it's going to help us financially in the long run. I think, there's one aspect to it, it's going to create a lot of jobs here in America, but I think it's a catch-22, where, okay, now, we're no longer outsourcing a lot of these jobs, but now, in order, to create these things and do these things, it's just going to raise the price on things, technology, food, everything exponentially. So it's I don't get it. I don't see.
Everyone acts like they know what's going on. Like you said, we're not political geniuses. Finance geniuses or political geniuses.
For sure.
These guys are on TV and on the newsreels trying to explaining what the administration is doing. You watch people in the infamous comment section explaining what they're doing. What they're doing is alienating our friends.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure. And it speaks volumes that no tariffs on Russia. I don't get this. It's kind of like telling,
honestly, bro. I don't, everything in this, in when it comes to economics and everything has domino effects.
Mm.
But the thing is about at the end of the day, it's about relationships and reputation. That's what gets you far in this world, man. You know, education, of course, but relationships and reputation, and
Well, especially when
we're
you're looking
destroying
at it
both
from a
of them.
political view. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and especially politically, we're destroying both of them.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
that's what's happening right now.
there
Like, the
seems to
Canada
be
thing-
some sort of intent. Listen, and you mentioned Canada. Not for nothing at the game yesterday. Since when did it become okay to boo other countries' national anthems? I personally wasn't raised that way or to believe that. I just
the Mets played the Blue Jays. They played the Canadian national
Mets
anthem.
played
They
right.
booed it.
So Mets played
You like that?
in Toronto yesterday, and we were seeing this with the hockey tournament mid-season. That little four nation face-off, especially when USA and Canada faced off for that. There was a lot of back and forth between fans.
I got Canada. I rock with Canada. I
But-
got family in Montreal.
That's my
You know what I'm
point.
saying?
Like, since when?
Canada's Canada, bro.
Right.
What the
Since
fuck?
when did we ever have an issue with Canada? Like, Canada's
Yeah.
always been on our side.
And
You know what I'm
what's the crazy
saying?
thing is because the U.S. president had a beef with the Trudeau guy, the prime minister. And
Right,
it
I
just
know.
became
And that's the
our beef.
root of it. But again, like, mainly because the guy wanted
No,
to
it's not.
conquer
That's what it's
Canada.
about, 'cause
You know,
Right,
he
'cause
wants to become another,
First he
another
wanted-
state.
He wanted to. He started coming after Canada when he seen the guy who's in charge, and he didn't like the guy. He's soft or whatever he thought he was, and then when they first met, it was already beef,
Yeah.
and it became now it's like it's nation's nation, like like a family, two people beefing from a family, not a whole family's got beef. That's what it is, and and now you got guys like you said, you got guys booing the national anthem. These are guys who are willing to take on the beef.
Right.
So it is what it is. Some people want to see the world burn. A lot of people do.
No, for sure.
Like,
I'm with you. You know,
saying?
it's insane to me.
Just want that drama,
That this is going on. And then again, at the game yesterday, you hear big time boos for
ain't nobody over
Canada.
there who's serving,
You know.
who's in a war, who's up there booing Canada.
I don't
Nobody over
imagine
there-
so. Anybody that did serve, I don't imagine so. It just
These
it's
are
it's
little
so.
These are chumps.
Yes, well, obviously,
These are
as
dudes who
patriotic
throw rocks and hide their hand kind of guys.
as patriotic as you should be for your country. Like it's not right to do that to a different country.
These
Especially if
people
there is like
are-
native Canadians in the fans who are just proud of their country. Like, let them enjoy their anthem.
They take
you
it
know?
personally. They already like, bro. Bro. At this point, it doesn't matter, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to dismiss it, but they are already like F them. They already feel that way about us. Fuck them.
I agree. It's such a hate.
It's real, bro.
I know. It's
Everybody
such a.
want to smoke. The new guy, he's mad aggressive, yo. He's like F them. When they want to get right, they could come talk to us.
Well,
So
it's
that-
not only him; it's all his
And I-
people. That's the
Right,
narrative that
don't-
you see in the media. It's
They have
bad.
political parties that were beefing with each other.
Yeah.
Now they're coming together to be like F the U.S. Their political beefs, they're unifying while we're getting torn apart. Think about that. Think about that, bro.
when you spread that type of hate, especially like that, it's just this is what it creates,
people
man.
gotta
It
come
creates this
together to- yeah.
divisiveness.
People come together to hate, and there's people come together to fight it. So it is what it is.
Yeah. It's just tough. You
sad.
hate
It's
to
like
see
sad.
it, man. You hate to see it, and I just thought it was
doesn't
such.
seem like a lot of people give a damn.
Well,
but it goes to
I
show
think
you-
they do though, but again, you're right
It
though.
goes to-
As a whole,
To show you the temperature of the people where they could just not give a damn about
well,
something
in terms
like
of
that.
a MAGA
Because
crowd, that does show the temperature. That's for sure. I mean,
right is right and wrong is wrong, man.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, even if I'm on your side, if you're wrong, you're wrong. That's how I roll. But when I was younger, I probably thought a little different. But nah, man, I take right or wrong, bro. That, especially when it's egregious shit you did, or whatever that person did, my ally did, I'm not with it. Bro.
Yeah, as W fixes camera a little bit there. It was just, it's a sour note. You're at the game yesterday, start the season, the feel good vibes, and for me personally, it was just weird to see. Like, listen, have your views. Say what you will. I don't know why you have hatred for Canada. What? Because their leader spoke out against your Lord and Savior, Mr. Trump. Come on, man. I just don't get it. There's absolutely no reason to have hatred, for Canada in that light, just because, Trump's wanted to do what he wants to do and do his thing. Doesn't necessarily, mean that's the right thing to do. I get it, but, people got to wake up. People got to wake up what's going on, man. There's people getting deported out there right now that have never even been to the countries in which they're being deported to. With full work visas, the whole nine. How are these mix-ups happening? When you got Joe Rogan, going on his podcast right now, and even mentioning that, alluding to that people are getting snatched up, unlawfully. That's an issue. And this is the guy that you wholeheartedly, following. And listen, to each his own, but some point you got to draw the line. And then when you look at the whole financial aspect of what's going on, stock market crash, recession, how is this a good thing? Since Trump has taken office, the stock market has literally lost, I think, estimated up to $10 trillion. Now, I don't know who that's benefiting, but it ain't benefiting the small man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the 1% where they can maneuver their money and do their own thing. Right now, the smart sellers in the stock market are probably shorting everything, and you can make a little bit of money that way. What's going on, Zero? Good morning, bro. Sports, we're always a platform to have mutual respect. Exactly. And listen, right. That's the whole point of that, right? We come together, competing against one each other, especially when it's other nations facing off. You should have mutual respect. That is a neutral ground in which there should be a mutual respect, right? And when you break that barrier, it's disgusting, honestly. It's disgusting, and it shows the class that of the people that, you show to be. Sports and competitive games were... Oh, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, he's back.
Yeah, Matt,
hold on, I wanted to read off Sean's comment. Hold on real quick.
Yeah, that was go.
Yeah. Don't be... You all right over there? What's going on with your camera? It's falling apart.
Mine, yeah, it's good now.
Yeah. Sports and competitive games were always meant to be diplomatic. It's okay to boo another anthem, but not okay to kneel to our own. It's hypocritical. Absolutely. I agree. Right. Right. That's a prime example, there. I'm glad that you even bring that up.
We're elite. We think we're better than everyone.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Well, certainly that type of demographic does. Yeah. Yeah.
We share sports teams with them. You want us to go bomb them now?
Right.
We share sports teams with them. These are our family. That's our fam, Canada. If anybody, it's Canada.
I know, like it really just doesn't. That's the part that gets me. It's like at that point you're just being ignorant.
Who are you gonna go use to beat for them?
Yeah.
The Army? Like, what do you want?
But when you watch Fox News and you tune in, you're gonna start to believe that.
You want them to put that man's meat in their mouth, like you guys, like a lot of you guys got in your mouth? No, because the guy wilding out.
No, for sure.
If it's your friend, no, I don't care. I'm going to ride with him.
At some point, you got to wake up and draw the line, and it's just it's unacceptable, to be honest with you. Dub, you're going techno crazy over there with your camera, and now your audio's shot too. Wake up, people. Let's at some point, where is the common sense in all of this, right? Listen, you may have voted for Trump. That's your guy, okay. But did you vote for this? Do you want this to happen? Do you want innocent people just being picked up, deported, going to countries they sitting in friggin' concentration camps? And
man.
And by the way, with no acknowledgement of potentially bringing them back, by the way. But, Brittany Griner, we could bring her back, no problem. Trade for fucking... arms race. But, where's the hypocrisy, right, in all of it? It just gets crazy, man. Come on, wake up. We need to wake up, and where's the common sense? What did you want to say, Dub?
I mean, man, you got to be able to say, man, because it's okay to be wrong about something. We're human, It's okay that I wasn't right about that.
And that's a great point, too.
Anybody who's going to be on you for it, fuck them, too. Oh, yeah, I told you. Anyway, fuck them.
Yeah.
So, even if you're wrong, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to say nothing. Like, we're wrong. I smacked shit. I'm wrong about. You know, tell me about it.
Humility,
But
man. You know,
it's
admit when you
humility.
made a mistake. Yeah.
It's a lot. It shows a lot of class and cool and integrity, and it's something we need more of. Just
Right, and
moving
from
along,
day
man. It's
one,
cool,
from
man.
jump.
You got these people telling us 1 + 1 is 3, and you're just cool with it. Come on, man. Like I said, we're not geniuses, but that other dude, like Biden, like I don't really want to say man, but he was running the country and he's had dementia and he was doing better. He was sleepwalking through the administration, but he wasn't pushing panic buttons for everything. Just destroying things, detonating things. That's what's happening now.
There certainly was a certain
I know
level
he didn't
of,
do nothing. I know it was like, I know that 4 years was like, what? It was bug. I do, man.
No,
I'm
but-
like
but to your-
red.
But to your credit, there was a certain level of class, with
It
the
was still,
administration.
we still, but this like with the levels you're stooping to. And everyone always had whispers about the United States as well as its own citizens, on how we operate and the things we do and revelations that we're finding out through the CIA and the things we've done overseas, the people who didn't deserve it, many times. It's documented if you want to know. But we're really showing it now, man. We still were good, bro. We still were good. China, we're making China look like good guys. The good guys. They were the bad guys.
No, what are you talking
Russia
about?
was- and
China
they were
is
the bad
still
guys for a
very
minute.
much being depicted as a terrible.
Yeah,
as the terrible
but
part of all
trade-wise,
this, yeah.
they are everyone's fate. Trade-wise,
Oh, trade-wise, they should be, because
All right,
China is
but
way
people
ahead
wanna
of
do
us
business.
technologically.
So,
And people need to understand that.
You need China. The way you can't, man. China is so special. This relationship with them, how it is, and it's a competitive, beneficial.
Well, again, we are a
borderline-
consumerism society, so we rely on China a
Right. So
lot,
and
and
obviously
Japan
they
and
are
all
big
that. So
producers. So
Yes.
and they produce a lot. So, but they still respect us. But if we're gonna put them in a situation where they can get like, look at them. We're on the grand stage. We're not doing things sneaky like the Pink Panther anymore. We're doing things right in the open, crazy things where people don't want to deal with us.
Dub Zero had a comment. Zero had a comment. Silent observation for the other cultures that we ourselves don't follow. It's about cultural exchange. Once you start making these platforms hateful, you are ruining the spirit of sports. And again, absolutely, bro. To your credit, some really good points there. Dub, you want to say?
Yeah, man, like the Canada thing, man, leave Canada alone. And that's all I'm saying.
Well, any other country or race of
You gotta
people
chill out,
or
bro.
anything like
Yeah,
that,
really, you
especially
gotta chill out.
especially when we come together, for sport.
Yeah, we're with them on the sports tip. The National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Right,
We're there with them. There's no reason to beef with them, yo.
And our
There's no
long-standing
reason.
relationship with them, politically,
we don't need.
you know.
We need them as friends. To be honest, it'd be better for us if we was cool with them.
Absolutely. Well, I don't want to get too much into it, but
Right.
again, that was something that really caught my attention.
I didn't know that.
Outside
You
of
were at the
the
game.
outside of the opening day, festivities, everything else was great. There was some heavy USA chants after that, but that's to be expected. Again, there's a huge MAGA contingency out there on the island. We all understand this. Long Island is full of them. I've seen the parades. I've seen the whole nine. They're all out there. And
The Klan is in Long Island.
yes, they're out there too, man. There's a bit of a heavy
I've heard.
contingency of that type of side of it as well. So, they show up at these
Yeah.
Mets games. Unfortunately, that's the but listen.
They'll beat your ass in there if you run your mouth. Bro. They'll
And you're absolutely right about that too.
Be careful.
One thing, listen, I
They'll
fit.
help you, bro.
Unfortunately, I fit right in. The MAGA crowd. They like to think that I'm a part of them. They especially when at work.
You know what?
Blonde hair,
And then
blue
they say
eye,
Boston,
bro.
they
Got
say
the whole
Boston
beard.
around, so you be like,
yeah. I like country music too.
We'll send you
Forget
on
it.
the
You know
cover,
what I'm
Maddie.
saying?
We'll send you on the cover, Maddie.
It's bad, bro. No, you could definitely send me on the cover at work. I get some MAGA people that come in, wearing the hat, the whole nine. Task, good morning, man. How we doing? How's your day? I get some, MAGA people come in,
I know some
and
MAGA guys. They show respect, but maybe when they get through,
they get a little crazy though. But with me, bro,
Yeah,
they'd like to think that I'm down, so it's like they get freaking.
I see them at full. I don't get to see them at full.
They get racist all of a sudden on me, and I'm like, I have to like kind of like tip them and like nah, man, I'm not down like that. Like fuck, like dude, do I look like that? Is it
more that than when you were growing up than ever? As a white guy from Queens,
for sure. I mean, I never. I was young, obviously, so it's different. And now that I'm an adult,
Yeah.
But I mean, I was around a lot of adults that were, said a lot of questionable things. It was a different time, in the '90s, all that, early 2000s.
No, but people like to say that stuff quieted down for a minute. But when Obama came back,
it's definitely more so.
And that's when it got crazy.
Yeah. Was
it cool? Or was it like, oh shit, more?
After Obama, it started to get really crazy.
All right, start turning up.
And it started, people got way more vocal than ever, It
was chill before.
I'm right there with you, Matty. I sneak in and hear some shit now more than ever. What's up, Tess? I hope all is well, man. You don't have the chat open yet? You don't have it up?
No, I got it open. I wasn't looking at it.
Okay. Yeah, man, it's weird, especially during this this push for this administration for Trump. People got super vocal, especially at work. Again, I work in Long Island. I'm right in New Hyde Park, so you get a lot from Suffolk, and they're all out there, and the whole thing. And they would come thinking that like I had one woman straight up racist against Chinese people, and I had to tell my wife is Chinese. Like
Chinese.
And she just looked at me like, oh shit.
Yeah, man. My bad.
Like what the fuck is that? Like she said some stupid, I forget word for word what exactly she said, but it was extremely racist toward Chinese people. And I was like, my wife's Chinese, right? And I was like, oh man, and it's not the first time that it's happened too. It's multiple times. Like there's parts of Long Island since this administration that I won't take Dorothy. Like, I just won't go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm afraid to drive in the air, like, go to the store and shit. That's how bad it is. So, I never experienced that growing up. Obviously, blonde hair, blue eyes. But, now that I'm with I'm married a Chinese woman. I mean, it's part of my culture now.
It kind of got choppy.
I'm choppying? Oh, no.
For me. I don't know for the guys.
Oh, all right. Everybody, let me know if my audio is a little choppy there. Dub is saying, if Zero says anything, I'll say hi to him. Zero was here a minute ago, Tess, so I don't know. I think he's here. He's lurking, I'm sure. There he is. Zero. Anything. You sound fine, Matty. All right. It might be on your end. Audio is apparently good. All right, I just want to get this up here. We had a lot of discussion. We went 30 minutes talking about the economy, everything that's going on. Again, Dumb and I haven't streamed since last Thursday. That was episode 13. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for all those that watched it in post, either on YouTube or Twitch. We'll have this one up premiering today shortly after the show ends, so you could catch that out on a full premiere on W's page on YouTube, and of course the live recording on Epis Radio page as well. Gino, what's up, Gino? Good morning, man. Hope all is well.
How
about those Metsies, baby? Let's go. And we got NBA playoffs. Let's go. The Knicks. We got to get ready. We got a little March Madness going on today. We got a lot on the docket today, Dub. We got to go over the Mets NCAA Final Four. No, it's a Final Four. No, yeah,
it's the Final Four.
Final Four today, and Final Four for the women's.
It was yesterday.
Well, now we got the final for the women's. Paige Buckers, right? And then who's the other team? I forget.
They're playing USC, South Carolina.
South Carolina, right. That I believe they're undefeated now. South Carolina, are they?
And then they're underdogs, though.
Right. Yeah, which is interesting. Paige Bucker and UConn, they took down UCLA by blowout to 85-51. South Carolina as well by blowout. Not kind of what you expect out of a Final Four matchup. Two big-time blowouts. I don't anticipate this final being a blowout, but UConn certainly a favorite going in. I guess a lot of faith in Paige Buckers and the UConn team. Hey,
Nah, they're 35-3.
You know, are they the perennial favorite in your opinion? Why are they ranked number 2 then? I don't understand. Because of the 3 losses. You know, is it just because of why are they highly valued here in
I don't know. I think it's because of the way they went through the tournament.
I guess so. Yeah.
I think the way they blown through people, they destroyed people.
Yes, Taz, Final Four. Gino, the Mets, baby. I was at opening day. It was beautiful. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to queue up that those highlights for us right now. We're going to get over that, Dub. I just want to make sure our screen is good. Dub, are you good to go? We could get these highlights. I was going to play the Mets and the Yankees highlights from yesterday.
Let's go.
I don't want to get in trouble and play the NCAA highlights again. I did that last time on the live stream, and apparently
YouTube, they're gonna
YouTube didn't like that either, even though it was for highlight purposes, which apparently you're allowed to do because I've done it with the Mets and the baseball highlights, basketball highlights, but NCAA's got its own freaking thing. Same thing with the wrestling, man. I guess I could appeal it, but it was like, it's not even, because it was a highlight video, I'm like, it's not even worth it, So theoretically, I could do it now, but I don't even want to go there. So either way, let's get this highlight up for you guys.
Opener is the New York Mets play the
Oh, no, hold on. I gotta fix this, everybody. I am not prepared. Because, I was scrambling. What am I doing here? Browser, audio, video. There it is. Boom. Okay. Beautiful.
Awesome. And he lines the first pitch in the left center for a base hit. So Lindor is going to try for 2. The throw to second base.
Lindor with a nice start to the game, man. Let me tell you, too, real quick. On Lindorski, okay, how awesome it was. Man, I could get video of that too. But his song that they play, the walk-up song, Dumb, for Lindor, right? And why am I forgetting the name of it
I
right
don't
now?
remember I remember they had a whole thing about it, but I don't remember what the song was.
You don't remember the song?
It's a nice song. It's
now
slow
it's blanking.
song, right?
Lindor's walk up song. I can't think of the name right now.
It's a slow song, yo.
Yeah,
It's an oldie.
everybody knows the song. It's an old time song. My Girl.
Right.
My Girl by the Temptations.
Girl,
Right. I couldn't freaking think of the name. So you've seen old highlight videos in the past with Lindor and the playoffs, the whole 9 crowd. You're cutting off the left side of the screen. Oh, yeah, I know, bro. Could you move yourself and Dubs to the side? Yeah, Tess, all right. I got a lot going on here. Thank you, all right? But that's this is the whole point of my video up there, too. I'm trying to find out a good spot for us to be because I don't want to block the bottom right either.
Work in progress.
Yeah. I haven't done this with Dub yet, and Dub's camera is a little off. Let me switch this for the people. But yeah, awesome atmosphere at Citi Field. It was really cool, just to experience all of it. Yeah, I'll make us small. I'll make us miniature. How about that? All right, we'll do that now, just for the sake of the highlight. I like this because we'll do that there. But yeah, great atmosphere it was at Citi Field. They're playing the walk-up song, My Girl, and at some point they cut off the music, and the whole crowd continues to sing the song and everything. Next thing you know, he rockets this shot. I'll play it back for you guys. He rockets this shot to left center and gets a stretch double there to get things going.
Awesome. And he lines the first pitch in the left center for a base hit. So Lindor is going to try for 2. The throw to second base, and he is
Beautiful slide. Honestly, missed the tag right there, but got to give credit to Lindor for that slide. After review, it was good to go. Yeah, They're the Jays. W's. I got W's audio on mute. He's saying the Blue Jays thing. And a beautiful start, Pete. You know, after everything that happened, you know, this season, to get the Mets home opener started with the little 2-run home to the right, gets a little curtain call, and the vibes were just beautiful. Good job on the fans. I was sitting behind the visitors' dugout over there, so I had a really good view of the game. And just a great perspective. McGill pitched into the 6th. He was great. Bullpen continues to get it done for the Mets on the early part of the season. Garrett, we had Kranick in there, really getting done. Juan Soto had a nice little RBI double. Like to see that. He kind of off to a slow start a little bit here. He did steal a bag. Dub's asking if he stole a bag yesterday, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But yes, he did steal a bag in the 9th inning. Back-to-back steal attempts by the Mets in the 9th by Lindor and Soto. Nimmo tacking it on as well with a nice little RBI double down the right field line. It was a big 6th inning for the Mets. Really tore it open and solidified this good win. The bullpen held it down the rest of the way. Starlin Marte getting in the action right as to finish off that 6th inning. Little RBI sac fly line drive to center field. Hit it well. And that put the Mets up 5. And this was the 9th inning. And the Mets with a nice little home opener shutout to get things going. So gotta love that. Vibes were real good at City. Beautiful atmosphere. I got a lot to say about some of the people that I was sitting behind. Put your audio back on here, but I got something to say. We're gonna have a little segment on this in a minute because, you know, I went to the game by myself yesterday, and you know,
You glad you did?
Glad I did. It was awesome. It's only one of a couple of times I've gone to a game by myself, and you know, like it's really interesting. My plan was to listen to the radio as the game was going on, but I screwed up and didn't properly charge my phone. I had my headphones and everything, but of course I didn't properly charge my phone going there, so I didn't really couldn't afford to do that. So you know, so I was just taking in all the sights and sounds, you know, and of course I had freaking people behind me talking this and that. I had a couple of Dominican guys next to me freaking slamming tequila. Somehow they snuck in like a whole Poland Spring bottle of tequila. I don't know how that's possible, but it's toasted, bro. By the 7th inning, the guy next to me was slurring his words. He couldn't freaking speak, bro. I was like, oh my god, this guy's gone.
You guys gotta drink of water before you go home.
I know before you asked if Soto did steal. He did steal, so it was very interesting. I actually wanted to bring that up in today's show. 5-0 in the 9th, and the steal attempts were on. Now, I don't know if it's a full-on call. I did catch a little bit of audio about Juan Soto stealing. I think that was his move to go, but Mendoza approved of it. You know, because the way the reporters asked the question was, you know, were you nervous with him sliding into second? And, well, you know, his response was, you know, he's a baseball player. He's got to do baseball things. You know, we can't just protect this guy, you know, because of the price tag that's on him. So yeah, steal attempt from Soto in the 9th. I like that, honestly. You know, you can't get too comfortable in this day and age with a 5-0 lead. Yeah, you could argue, it's not really necessary, whatever. And ultimately, it didn't lead to a run anyway. But, you know, Lindor trying to steal up 5-0, and then I forget what happened. I think there was a pickle. There was a pickle in the 9th inning. I think he got caught in between bags, and he got tagged out in a pickle. And then Soto later on stole second base right after him. So, you know, nice. I like the aggressiveness by the Mets. I want to continue to see that, especially because they're not like super fast team in terms of speed. So they really need, you know, along with their offense, I think it's important that they get aggressive and find ways to score. I don't think they're going to smash home runs like the Bombers are doing right now. I think they're going to have to find other ways to generate some runs as well. They hit their fair share of home runs, no doubt. But I think, the singles, the doubles, getting some extra bags, that's important for them.
Pete for MVP, man. Pete for MVP. Let's go, Pete.
You got to give him his
Let's go,
flowers,
Pete.
right? And, there was so much discussion about him in the offseason. I talked about it. I said that, they don't necessarily need to re-sign him. I hope I'm wrong in that. I really hope I'm wrong in that. I was okay with bringing him back on the 1-year deal. Long term, I'm still questioning about it. Because not for nothing, Mets fans, you seen a part of your future right there in Citi Field yesterday. I watched it. I was there nice and early, Dub, just like you like to be. All right, I was there. I got there nice and early. I got there 2 o'clock. I settled in. All right, got in my seat, sat there. I'm looking. I'm like, who's coming out? Lindor was the first one out on the field. You want to know who shortly came out afterwards? Vlad Guerrero, all right? Vlad Guerrero was out there schmoozing it up with Soto, with Vientos. They were having their own little private conversation for about 15 minutes, bro.
Pete is gone. Regardless. Someone's going to offer him the money, and they're going to want Vlad. This is just it. And Pete is gonna have a huge year, the biggest year of his career this year. Y'all gonna get it.
For sure. And, I hope so. I hope so,
Pete
for our sake.
He's going to get the money. Everything's going to be beautiful for everybody.
Well, it would certainly be a nice little happy ending for him, especially, the history with his contract, him betting on himself, not doing too well, the whole back and forth
and he's betting
between
on
the
himself
Mets.
Again.
Right. But it seems like he's cashing in. And right now, in the early part on, we could break down those at-bats. He seems very patient. He's not chasing. All the home runs he's hit so far are to right field, which is a phenomenal sign. Just to have power to the right portion of the field, that is showing me that he's on it.
Patience.
He's feeling good. And it's just good to see. And honestly, when I look at Soto, a little bit of criticism. I've heard some discussion that Soto doesn't look right. He doesn't look happy and things like that. I think he's feeling the pressure. Being, signing the big contract. He hasn't had
Besides Soto don't look happy. Yankee fan?
Yeah, very well. Yeah, I've heard rumblings, and I do think it is Yankee rumble.
I'll kill you for the Mets.
I've heard some
bias,
Mets.
and I'm going to do the Met. Come on, the Yankee fan can't tell you nothing about how Soto feels.
Yeah, I think that's where it stems from. It's a lot of hatred. Listen, I'm hearing that in Yankee Stadium, what was it, opening day, there was, fuck Juan Soto chants, or that they've continued those chants. Yeah, pretty classless if you ask me. It's pointless, honestly. Like, dude, whatever. The guy just didn't sign it. It's over. It's in. And you guys are, performing extremely well without him. You know what I'm saying? So I get, don't hate on the guy, man. He was a 1-year rental. It is what it is. I get it. You didn't get him, but you're doing okay. It might, again,
about the Yankee fans?
Yeah, I mean, that message is more directed to the Yankee fans, especially when in regards to, like...
not you, but
the
whole discussion this week about how the Yankee fans, the FU Soto chants and this and that. Come on, you guys are going to cry about that?
Yeah, at some point it's got to stop, but I don't think it is.
It will,
but
it may more make, because it makes you mad if it works.
I don't think it will. I don't think the conversation will stop, bro.
They're not going to stop if you complain about it. They stop when you don't care. When it doesn't phase you is when
but I don't think the Yankee fan is going to stop caring. That's the thing,
No.
I
don't know, man. We don't really... Honestly, for me, if you ask me, because we're not a monolith.
Yeah.
Yankee fans ain't a monolith. We're not.
Yeah, I'm talking about that specific Yankee fan, yeah.
I can, bro, and I really try to look at myself as objective too. We play around a little bit with this Yankee Mets stuff. But,
yeah.
And at the end of the day, the Mets in the World Series and the Yankees not. I'm riding with the Mets, bro.
Right.
I don't even know. Hope maybe you guys change me one day. You guys get annoying enough, and I'll be like, F them, yo. I've never been like that at this point, but who knows? But with the fans are kind of New York. This Yankee Met thing is nuts, but I think overall it's good. It's good for the city. It's good for baseball, as long as it doesn't get ridiculous.
Yeah.
So don't make all the big money.
No,
it's
great for baseball, and it's great for the city. There's a lot of discussions. It's going to be a fiery summer, and you're already seeing it. Yankees tearing it up over here, man. I don't know what the hell's going on.
And that makes that right there. It gives the Yankee fans like myself. We feel great. watching Jazz Chisholm hit the baseball, watching
Right. Which you would
Goldschmidt
think
hit.
would make this easier, but like, because I could understand if like the
Yo,
Yankees were off to a
Judge
bad
is the
start.
best. Judges might be the best player you've ever seen.
Oh, for sure. You know, I mean, yeah, he's getting up there. You know, you could honestly start. You could start to have the conversation that he might be one of the greatest Yankees of all time. I think he's certainly above Derek Jeter. I think he's getting to that point. I heard Joe Benigno talking about that this morning. I kind of agree with him. You know, if Judge continues to do what he's doing, it's just unreal. You know what I'm saying? He's off to a ridiculous
games. It's no big deal now.
Yeah, he's off to what, 6 home runs now? How many RBIs for him?
19 or 17, one
it's
or the
insane.
other. 19.
You know, how many games are we in right now? 6, 7 games? Like
6. He's got 18 RBIs.
What are we doing, man? You know, like this guy's insane, bro. And again, you know, I had my speculation with this lineup, but man, you know, right off the bat, it's seemingly like nothing is going their way. Now, you know, that's not going to last forever. They're going to cool off at some point, and you wonder how are they going to deal with the adversity when that comes about. It's a long season. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to smash like this all summer long, but certainly a great start and certainly a positive outlook. I don't know what the final score was yesterday, but they came out on top big again. Right, double-digit game again for them yesterday.
12-3.
Right, there you go. I mean, I remember looking up at the scoreboard at the Mets game, and they were up like 7-1. So just, again, you know, phenomenal performance on them. Let's get those highlights, actually, for you guys, the Yankee fans out here. I did want to talk about something that I overheard in the crowd yesterday. I had people around me. I had like a little family behind me, and just something that like bothered me as a parent.
9-4 was the final.
It was a 9-4. Okay, I thought they hit double digits, but I'm wrong on that one. All right, let's play these highlights for the people.
No, you want to talk about that? What you said about the parents? You say you don't want to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. Let's play these highlights first, and then we'll talk about it. I'll get these done.
I'm about to say, MF, you brought it up.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm gonna do the highlights now, and then talk about that afterwards. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna remember. Yeah. Here you go. Yankee highlights.
Day in Pittsburgh as the Pirates welcome the New York Yankees to PNC
The
Park
New
to pick up the
York
25th year of
Yankees.
this jewel on the North Shore.
I hope we get the Yankees announcer.
On his
Some
birthday,
highlights. These seem like
29 years
Pittsburgh
old today, Mitch
announcer
Keller.
highlights. That's right, mainly because it was Pittsburgh's opening day. So nice stadium. I haven't been there, but I've been near there. Yeah.
Rice to start it off. Cruz will get the ball in. Rice leads off the first with a single. There's Aaron Judge.
Doug, just remember your audio is muted because I'm assuming you're listening to it. Yeah.
Quick trouble. First and second, nobody out.
Here's Jazz left-hand hitter.
And got him looking, wow. And there's no ABS challenge in the regular season. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a break. You've got to take advantage of it if you're Keller and the Pirates.
Yeah, that's a bad call. I don't know about that one. Questionable slider down low.
Second and third.
And another one here on the outside.
Rice to third.
Ump had a big zone to start this game, huh?
Left-hand hitting catcher.
Wells.
Fly ball to left. Pham toward the
Oh,
line.
Shanker
He's there. He's
down the
got it.
line, and that will end the inning.
What a great job by Mitch Keller to get out of that jam. 2 on, nobody
Mitch
out.
Keller got a little help in that first inning, okay? I don't know if he just got out of the jam there, but
Numbers from last year, 29 starts, 11 and
now
10.
this is the guy that they really need a big year from.
Brian Hayes will lead it off.
Driven into right field. Judge back. Still back on the track. Jumps.
Oh, little dangerous play right there. Judgy looked like could potentially hurt himself there, especially with that fence.
That much room before the wall. Looks like he's going to be all right.
There's Brian Reynolds.
Yeah, it's not a smooth catch from him there.
2 outs.
There's O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah.
6'7", used to be a shortstop.
Soto had a similar catch and right, smashing into the wall yesterday as well.
Catch in a 1-2-3 frame.
And there's a walk to Grisham. Third Yankee base runner. And that'll bring up Jason Dominguez. Dominguez hitting 250.
Oh man, I forgot. We got these freaking. I'm gonna play that. I don't want these ads in here real
Just
quick.
like when things are packed tidy and tight.
No, batting, that was Dominguez. I don't know, let me play it back. Right here.
2 outs.
Here's O'Neal Cruz. 6'7", used to be a shortstop. He lines one to center field. Grisham's
Let's
got a
say.
beat on it.
Yeah, Grisham.
Goes back now into the gap mixer.
Yeah, it was Grisham. Yeah,
1-2-3 frame.
And there's a walk to Grisham. Third Yankee base runner. And that'll
yeah, that's Grisham right there.
Dominguez hitting 250.
The Martian, Dominguez, slapping one down the right field line.
Roll onto the warning track, cut off there by McCutchen. Grisham is rounding third.
Setting them up there in the second and third.
Oh, the Yankees had some traffic in the first inning, now some traffic here in the second, and a nice at bat.
Well, the Pirates bring the infield in with the second and third and 1 out. Oswaldo Cabrera at the plate. He's 0 for his last 7. That one is looped into left center field, and it's going to get down in the base hit. 2 runs.
Nice little base hit, left center, scores 2 for the Yanks.
With a 2-run double, and the Yankees have a 2-0 lead.
Cabrera, exactly what he had to do. Rice works a walk. It's
nice little piece of hitting, inside out swing from Cabrera right there. Judgy gets blown away from Keller.
Certainly will take that, Greg. That ball in most instances ends up in a faraway place.
Not every day that you sneak one past him like that.
Swinging a pop-up back of third. Hayes tracks it. Hayes has got it, and that ends the inning. We're through an inning and a half. Back-to-back buck base hits here in the second. A 2 on for Pham, hitting at 087 without an RBI.
Little dribble up to the pitcher Fried. That thing had all kinds of whirly.
Pittsburgh threatening air in the bottom of the second, trying to get back the runs they lost there.
Soft ground ball, third base.
Bad spot right there. That's a beautiful play. Beautiful play.
Did not break for home.
About a fuzz 6-hopper to third, and just gunned him down at first, second, and third, 2 out.
Center field, Grisham. Plenty of room coming in.
An easy fly ball in the inning right there. So
second and third, nobody out jammed.
great pitching, getting out of that jam. Pittsburgh's got to do a better job of scoring with runners in scoring position there.
First and second.
Scored a single, not an E6. How about that?
Hopefully that leads to nothing, but unfortunate miscue right there to get out of this inning.
Ball was bobbled right there. Dominguez, broken bat looper. Seemed like the Yankees were just hitting him where they needed to. Another booted ball right there.
Single for Dominguez.
2 strikes on Cabrera and a 2-run double, as it were, in the second.
And Cabrera poked the other way, man. You know, and this is different type than we've seen from the Yankees earlier on this season. You know, we've seen a lot of power from them, but they were just hitting them where they ain't yesterday, doing their thing. Still scoring runs. Oh, love Reynolds, man. That's a shot right there. And he got it. I would love Reynolds, man, on the Mets.
Now you knew it was going to be a matter of time.
Sweet swing.
Number 1 got his first homer of the season, but
A lot of hang time on that one out to left. So Pittsburgh's on the board.
4-1 now, and that gets him excited.
He gets 2 quick outs, and now the Yankees have runners at first and second. Here's Volpe.
This is what happened last year.
Up the middle.
Off the Keller's heel, it seemed. Kicked into center field. I think that ball's going into center regardless.
And the Yankees are up 5-1.
Is Volpe using the torpedo bat too? I don't know.
Bases are loaded, and here comes Derek Shelton. So Keller running into this buzzsaw of a lineup.
And Wentz will be coming on.
And he'll face Jason Dominguez. And another Yankee gets hit. That'll force
it's a long highlight video here.
Will score. Dominguez picks up another RBI, and the Yankees are
want to get to Judgy's home run.
So here's Cabrera. Runners will go. 3-2, 2 outs. There's ball 4. 4 ribbies for Oswaldo Cabrera, and the Yankees lead 7-1.
Now,
Pittsburgh couldn't get it out of their own way. Oh man, another ad here. I'm gonna skip ahead, Dub. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get this highlight going a little bit more.
Well to right field, McCutchen. Oh, McCutchen!
Saved at least 2 runs on that sprinting catch.
Nice little play from McCutch.
With Max Fried, the left-hander, facing Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, bounded past Fried slowly towards.
We'll skip ahead for you guys a little bit, get it going. What inning was the judge homie?
He legged out. Oh, bare hand.
Gets him on that splitter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's right here. Here we go. Hold on.
Canario.
All right, let me cue it up for you guys.
Swing and a miss.
Okay, we'll end the highlight there.
Yeah, interesting choice here. Just continued on the second base, thinking he can make the pivot, complete the double play. Rice gets down the line too well.
Here's Aaron Judge.
And here it is, Judge, straight away. Another no doubt. The center fielder knew it.
2-run home run for Judge. Number 6 on the year.
6 home runs on the year.
9-1 Yankees.
Tim Mays of the lefty against Aaron Judge, the power hitting righty, is a matchup in the Yankees' favor any day or night.
So the Pirates with a couple of hits in this inning. First and third, 1 out, top of the order. Key Brian Hayes. Let's try to chip away.
This ball hit well to left field and clear the deck. Cannonball coming.
Cannonball coming.
9-4.
Just enough to get in that first row.
I gotta move this shit.
Key Brian Hayes.
1 out, and Aaron Judge will come up with a man aboard again.
Hey.
3-2, Ben Rice took off. Here's a pitch to Judge.
I'll get this
Swing,
out of
missed the
here,
sweeper.
man.
Throw down the second. Head first slide by Rice is in there safely. Judge strikes out for the 3rd time today. Stolen base for Rice.
Again, the crew chief review.
This will be a crew chief challenge of the safe call at second base.
What do you think?
Yeah, really close. We haven't got such a great angle.
No doubt, no doubt.
Best, and you still can't quite
Oh man, why can't I get rid of this? This is so annoying.
At what point the glove hit the leg?
Hey Sean, you in the chat there? Oh, there we go. Banned.
And last chance for the Pirates to the bottom of the
Okay.
ninth.
And Devin Williams hasn't pitched in a while.
Well, nobody spamming my chat over here.
Here, bottom 9 for the Pirates.
9-4 Yanks. Reynolds had a home run in the 3rd inning. Strike 3. Ball game. Yankees
Ball
win this
game.
one
9-4.
the road trip with
Williams
a
gets some work in there. Judge, the only one hit, the home run. Cabrera 3 for 4, 4 RBIs. Big game for him. Good stuff in regards to that. So the Yanks, you know, status quo, a little bit different. Although Judge with the home run, they were just hitting them where they ain't and doing their thing. So you know, fabulous start for them on this season. I believe Boston won as well yesterday, so starting moving in the right direction for them. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. But one thing I wanted to mention yesterday, I don't know if Dub's back yet here. I did want to have him here, part of this conversation. But one thing I wanted to mention, I'll leave his video up. Maybe I'll go solo. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Thank you everybody for tuning in today. Got something flying over my house right now. I think you guys could probably pick that up on the audio right now. Jesus, there's a low-hanging fruit coming through here. I don't know what that is. I do have 2 airports near me, LaGuardia and JFK, so that's probably, you know, understandable. But I guess we're flying low today. I don't know. So I'm at the game yesterday. Again, you know, pretty nice seats. I treated myself, went by myself, got there nice and early in my seat, doing my thing, eating my peanuts, having my drink, you know, and just eavesdropping, you know. Wait, you're right near JFK 2 test? No way. Yeah. Maybe, I don't think, based on the sound, it sounded like that plane was going towards LaGuardia, but yeah, that's wild. Where exactly are you, Task? Where do you live? I didn't even realize you were that close. But something I was observing yesterday at the game, you know, I'm, eavesdropping. I got this family behind me, mother, father, 2 kids. I don't know what age, but relatively young, probably, 6, 7 years old, something like that. Seemed like both kids. Oh, you're in Maryland. You're not near JFK. You're in Maryland, dude. I mean, that's kind of, it's kind of close, I guess, geographically in terms of JFK. But, I mean, are you within earshot? I guess you do hear some planes that are routed to JFK from there, yeah. Yeah, I know. But it's like, it's still Maryland, still like, geographically, that's like a drive and a half from JFK. I know it's not as far as I'm thinking, but it's still a drive and a half. It's probably closer by boat, at that point. But yeah, I guess you're all close. Yeah, you do. I'm sure you do get those planes that coming from more up north, northeast. Yeah. So anyway, yesterday I was eavesdropping. Dub, you're good to go? You're here? All right. I was eavesdropping about this family behind me, and, I hear, like, after every play, the freaking, dad is being some sort of helicopter dad. You obviously, the kids play baseball. I even heard earlier on that, they were leaving early because both kids had practice. One had practice at 5, another one had practice at 5:30. It became an argument between both mother and father at some point too, which was very interesting during the ball game in front of the children. And both being very vocal. Now, that wasn't my main issue with it, but it was more so with the dad and in regards to his son. What bothered me, it kind of reminded me about my dad growing up, but it was different because it was just so demanding and coming from I don't know, to me personally, as a kid, a negative place. Every play, bro, it'd be as simple oh, there's a ground ball, third baseman throws it to first, right? And I think there was a scenario yesterday, was a throw to first, Vlad, the throw was offline, so Vlad Guerrero had to get off the bag, catch the ball, and tag the runner instead of applying the tag with his foot on the bag, right? Simple baseball stuff, so the dad's right immediately the second the play happens, did you see what happened there? Why did he tag him? And it was all throughout the game. It was this kid was constantly being bombarded with question after question after question. And it was and the dad wasn't even being playful with it either. You know what I'm saying? It kind of his tone sounded very oh, you better get this right. If you're not, where's your head at? You know what I mean? And we were talking a little bit of mental health things, prior to the show. And, for me personally, I had a bit of a helicopter dad when it came to, sports growing up. He was my coach at one point. He coached my basketball team to a CYO championship when I was a little kid. We were in the paper and everything, so I have a lot of experience. He taught me pretty much all I know about sports, right? Especially when it comes down to baseball and basketball. But there were times, growing up where, he was a bit much, it was a bit overbearing. It was a bit, to the point where later on in my adulthood, it kind of steered me away from sports in general. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just so ingrained in that, I had to do this. I had to know this. I had to do that, It's, for sure. No, it did because it triggered me because I just, as a father, especially now, and kind of, I have 3 kids. Sure, no doubt. And it hurt me as the father, but it also hurt me as the inner boy for the child. And I just want to turn around and help him, be it's okay. You don't have to know. And for dad to just, shut the fuck up, maybe, let the kid be a kid. Just let him enjoy. Let him lick, let him, yeah, for real, bro. Let the kid eat the Cracker Jacks. Let him just look around and look at the vibes and, and just, well, right. That's where I know that's where that's leading to, Yeah. And I could already see it too, because the dad was kind of already disconnected from the jump. Bro, at the beginning of the game, the dad is on the phone left and right. He was apparently ahead of some sort of business. I don't know if he's a financial guy, kind of sound like hedge fund related. He was talking about... No doubt, but I do think there's a fine line, especially, again, where it's all right, yes, but there's a place for it. My point is that just there's a place, and I think, a ball game for a child is just meant to be enjoyed. It is not meant to be quizzed constantly and this and that. Oh, shit, I'm sorry. Man, I didn't realize shit. I still had your freaking damn chat. Where's the chat, man? I had the W's audio muted. Everybody, I apologize, man. Damn it, that segment screwing up right there at the beginning. Chat people, you gotta help me out, man. That's all right. I did most of the talking for that anyway. But we're not gonna end this. Dub, I want you to bring back your point of what you just said because you mentioned that it triggered me a little bit, and it did. You know, it did trigger me. It brought me to a place where I feel bad for the kid. I want to reach out to the kid and basically just tell the dad to shut the fuck up. And then you went on to say what you. I want reiterate that for the people just to make sure.
This guy, he's probably just, trying to live vicariously through his kid. I should have done this, I should have did that. Now I got little Jimmy. I'm gonna get him to do it.
For sure.
So I could, so that a lot of the times, but and like I said, there's kids and there's people you could communicate with that like that the way he was, and they're receptive to that. But everyone's not like that. You got to understand that, and just because it's your kid doesn't mean your kid has your personality. It's probably the parents' job to figure their personality out, rather than making the kid adjust their personality the way you want them to be. But that'd be a problem a lot of times.
It's just your typical helicopter, Long Island sports parenting, bro.
He's gonna be a third baseman in the league. That kid's gonna be drinking by the time he's 19. He's gonna be giving somebody to go cop booze for him.
I mean, later on in the game, like the dad's over here, like bragging to the gentleman next to him and saying that, oh yeah, I paid for both kids for the Mark Vientos camp, and I upgraded $400 per so that they can meet him and take photos and this and that and watch him practice. It's like all right, like that's great of you to provide that opportunity for your children.
They gotta pay back,
but it's right, it's just seemingly
I got
like
that autograph that you will be Vientos and you don't want to go to practice anymore.
Right, and then it was hypocritical because then later on in the game, like I think it was like sixth inning. Yeah, it was the sixth inning. They left right after the sixth after the Mets scored their runs, and they went to the top of the seventh because Mom is over here getting pissy now. Definitely
It's on her nerve.
Both of them, I don't know, like I believe like either American Italian, American Puerto Rican. I don't know, like definitely along those lines. Both of them. I never like got a good look because I just didn't want to turn around and look at him when it'd be nosy and shit like that. But I seen Mom when Mom was leaving. She she definitely was a little feisty, man. I could hear it in her voice. She was getting into it with the husband because she's like, no, we said we were going to leave at this time, and they got practice. That's another thing too, not for nothing. You take the kids to opening day. For one, they probably left school early or didn't go to school at all. Two, you knew the kids had practice at 5 and 5:30. Like you knew that was going to be an issue. Like, why are you guys arguing it now, especially in front of your kids, making it awkward as hell? Dude, as much as I'm like all for like making sure the kids do practice, things like that.
Bro, you're killing Long Island in this show. You're a typical Long Island guy. Yo, bro. We got Long Island people.
I'm sorry if anybody's listening from Long Island right now. Technically, I'm from Long Island too. I'm on Long Island because of Queens.
That's why you're getting to go. I'm shutting my Coney Island, Brooklyn neighborhood ass down. I'm just listening.
It's not just Long Island geographically. It's the type of person it breeds.
They got them in North Jersey.
It's the helicopter sport, the soccer mom, the SUV.
I listened to them call up the fan for 40 years, bro. Since I was 8, I listened to them call these same people call the WFAN and listen to them. I know.
Right.
No, I know.
And it just bothered me because it was like, man, and they were around. They had to be like around my age, and it's like, oh shit, I've reached that point where now these people are my age. So I'm very critical. I know I'm at that age. I'm at, so I'm like, so now it's weird.
How old are the kids?
Again, if I had to guess 6, 7, something along those lines.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn, bro, you don't even know if they're athletically like that.
Right, exactly. And like the kid at one point made a comment, was like, it was like, Dad, enough. He's like, I know baseball more than any kid in my grade. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, I'm sure you do, kid. Because your freaking dad constantly on your ass about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, he's on the freaking laptop at the baseball game on the phone with his cronies. Okay, you're gonna do this, okay, all right, click, all right, well, make this sale, do this for me, all right, but the wife is over here getting pissed, because he's not paying attention to everybody, but it's like, bro.
What a day at the ball game.
I'm like,
man. You go by yourself. What an adventure. You'll never forget this one.
Listen, it was a beautiful thing, and just to be at a ball game, I love it. But to be there by yourself is interesting, man. You could really take it all in. I didn't, usually I would be social. I wasn't very social for this one. I kind of kept to myself. Again, more so because it was the people around me. I just wasn't vibing with them. So yeah, that's it. And then the guys next to me, they were wasted by the 6th, 7th innings. I was like, the people in front of me were relatively quiet. I had a kid next to me. His dad was a different story. He lost his kids at some point. I don't know what the hell. That dad was an aloof dad. At some point, the 2 kids come to the seat. Dad doesn't even know where they are. It was a lot going on, man. But so that was just something that I wanted to bring up. It kind of ties into the mental health thing that me and Dub have been talking about. By the way, just shameless plug. On Monday is going to be the first episode of our mental health Mondays. Okay, we're gonna do. It's a whole new line of podcasting for us. It's a whole new episode, whole new show. It's going to be I don't know, tentative Matty's mental health, show, whatever. I don't know. I don't have a proper title for it yet. We'll come up with it. But it is going to be a mental health show. It's going to, me and Dub, we're going to do it. I'm going to do it late Monday evening, most likely. Probably a nightcapper. Probably like at 10 p.m. like we normally did. But of course, if you're not there for the live recording, you catch it on YouTube Epis Radio page and the playback on Twitch as well. We'll definitely try to create some shorts for it, and we'll create a special podcast playlist for the new show and promote it accordingly on the YouTube page. So be tuned in for that. A large part of the show and what I want to do for it is breaking down my Mental Health Monday video that I release every week. If you don't already know, I release a mental video on my personal page every Monday, and it's a little short video. Kind of started out long. Now it's anywhere between 15 and 30 seconds. It's very rare if I go any longer than that. And I just have a feel-good message that will, start your week off right. I think that was the whole point of it. And what I've been trying to do with that whole segment is just create a platform for people to come together, much like we do here, and talk about some mental health issues. I'm not an expert when it comes down to it, although I have worked in the medical field for 10 years. I do know a bit. I've dealt with and battled through my own depression for years and things like that, so I just like raising awareness to it. And listen, we're humans at the end of the day. I think we can all find ways to connect when it comes to our mental health, and
absolutely,
what a better way to do it than to start a show about it. So catch us,
share a little personal stuff with each other.
Absolutely,
we all know that we're all walking on the same ground, and some things we keep close, and sometimes we shouldn't. We should speak on it.
We definitely have to speak on it. Yeah.
That's how you learn. You have. Oh man, there's people like that out there. That always is great to know, even if you don't know them. Just to know that there's people out there who feel you and that goes a long way. It's through the struggle, through the good ups and downs. So we're gonna talk about all that stuff, Matty. I'm pumped up that you just made that announcement, man.
Yeah, I mean, I have been too. It's something that we've been considering for quite a while. I mean, ever since we started the show. Now we're on episode 14 of the revamped Epis Radio, but I think the whole idea of Epis Radio this time around for us was not only just sports, but it was to create other shows. Much like a John Boy Media, where it's not just sports. We're gonna have it's Epis Radio, and then Epis Sports is a version of Epis Radio. The Mental Health Mondays is a version of Epis Radio, and then so on and so forth. We can have dating shows. We can have anything, couples therapy. Who knows where this will lead to? I don't know, but that's the whole point. It's as much as we like sports. We know it's not everybody's cup of tea, and there's a lot of. We want to
tap in with everybody. We want to tap in with different people too. Yeah.
And there's a lot of topics to discuss and things like that. And again, for somebody The marathon that I just ran recently was in honor of my father who passed away back in 2007. And again, I mentioned my dad right before this segment in coaching me through and teaching me everything I know about sports. But he was far greater than that. He was a larger than life figure. I miss my dad every day. I battled depression and drug use for years. In the wake of his death, there was times where I didn't necessarily think that I would live past tomorrow. I had to come out of that dark cloud. It took me a long time. I did years of therapy. And then just years of self-discovery and rediscovery, and then fatherhood came and things like that, and that had its own challenges. So, I'm not perfect. Nobody is. I don't have all the answers. That's not the point of this, right? It's just a platform for all of us to come together and try to bond and connect on a different level, especially. We opened the show to talk about all this divisiveness going on in the country and all the hatred and the
it's depressing.
It is depressing. And how we consume our media and things
I like
like
to
that.
isolate myself, bro.
For sure.
I like to separate myself, and I can do it at the drop of a dime. It's something a talent I've developed that I'm not even proud of, bro, like that, because I'm supposed to be more of a social creature, but I've just, in my darkest times, I've learned to just totally separate myself from any entity that can make me give me that anxiety that I've had.
And I think that's super, normal. That's a normal human reaction to feeling that way,
It's super, it's a talent that has even, kind of taken over me. It's made me a person I don't even want to be, because I can just I don't care as much as I did. So it's not like it comes at a price.
You feel a bit desensitized in that sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then it saddens me. And then also the darkness comes in different forms. That cloud, you know what I mean? It comes. So, but it's just something we should talk about, man. And it's gonna be a beautiful thing, as you would put it, as you would say, my brother.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And
it's not, you can't even, man. Anyone listening to this now or who will hear this, you can't even really write this down or plot it. This is going to be freestyle these Mondays. They're going to be as clean and classy as possible. And they're going to, I'm going to come to my heart and go to you guys and let you know, when it's all. For sure. Again, a big part of the show too, and as we grow our show, now we are Twitch affiliates, things like that, and it was streaming on YouTube, things like that. When we improve our equipment and improve our situation, we'll just be able to expand to a level that will incorporate other viewers as participants of the show. Even for Epis Sports portion of things, I have a lot down the pipeline. I want to bring other people onto the show and promote things. I have an music artist that wants to come on the show, that's eager to come on, a good friend of mine, long time. My cousin doing his thing in the sports realm and business realm of things. He has his own business, food truck, and host a paintball team. Got a lot going on. There's so many different avenues that I really want to get this show on the road and expand it, and you guys are a part of that, and that Mental Health Monday show is important. That's the one where, I really want to see people show up and be a part of, because that's what matters. That's, again, as much as we like doing this, it's the interaction with our fans, things like that. That's honestly, me just loving sports was always therapeutic for me. It always took me away. It's always a drug almost. It could just take you away. And you can hide, and everyone, you guys, 95% of real sports fans, they're like that too. They know it, and then that in itself, well, sports is a way of life. Sports
everything
is possible in sports. It's it was the medication, bro, for anything like that.
Well, competitive sport at the heart of it was meant to distract and meant to, right, whether that's a political point of view for it, but it's certainly driven that way.
Yes.
Certainly driven that way.
It really is.
As long as it doesn't become like your whole being, and consume your whole life, at least, we're able to separate from that, have our, personal lives. I know it's not easy for everybody, but, that's part of it too, right? At some point you got to take a break, at some point you got to, live a little, do your thing. So, as much as we like it, there are more important things. All
Absolutely.
Right. So good stuff right here. We're going an hour and 30. All right. We're not going to go too much longer today. Maybe we'll go a little bit, half an hour. We'll hit to the 2-hour mark. How we feeling?
Sunscreen on my dome, brother.
Oh, boy.
Go. Man, you see that thing hitting me?
I do. It's got a nice little shine on you there.
Yeah, I got that screen on here.
All right.
I'm going to Yankee. You didn't see those. I'm going to Yankee look from now on, That's how we're rolling all year.
Something that I did want to mention, I forgot to mention off the top of the show, and, we don't, one thing sports related we don't really talk too much on here is about NHL, but it's worth mentioning. Alex Ovechkin scored his 894th goal in 1,486 games. Okay, one game less than the great Wayne Gretzky. Okay, tied him. Has officially tied him. He was looking for that ever so elite goal to take his stat away last night, but couldn't get it. He was able to get the tie, though, and he should finish it off. I don't know if they play today, but certainly tune in for that. I know in my age, in my time growing up, was really always Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby. For me personally, like the Gretzky days were kind of long gone. Gretzky, broke that record in '94. I was 2 years old. As much as I know the lure of Wayne Gretzky and things like that, by the time I was of age, he was past his time. You know what I'm saying? I remember him, on the Rangers, the whole nine. But again, beyond that, right? For me growing up, it was always Ovechkin, and as a Ranger fan, I always watch this guy dominate year after year after year, and Sidney Crosby, the same thing. These guys still getting it done, even in the old age. When you talk about who's the greatest to ever do it, because it was something that, intrigued me, I had to look into. I'm like, well, what does this mean? Because regardless, it's an amazing feat to reach that type of number, right? He's going to break the record. He's going to hold the record. Who knows how long? I don't know if it'll be, forever, because you got guys like Connor McDavid.
Anybody on pace right now? Yeah,
I would probably say McDavid is. I'd have to take a look at the numbers. He may not be the only one, though. But if I'd have to say off the top of my head, it's probably Connor McDavid.
A monster,
based on his age and his production at this rate. At this rate,
he's on the Oilers,
he is.
Right?
Yeah, at this rate, if he continues...
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah, right, exactly. He's a household name. There are, some other names, some elite scorers in the league, no doubt. And again, it's early in the McDavid era still, based on his age. Ovechkin's been doing it for a long time. I think nearly 20 years.
How's McDavid, 23?
I think he's 23 now. I think he came into the league 22. So I'm saying, he's got a long time to go. But now, hockey's different, though. You know what I'm saying? Injuries, career-ending injuries, things like that. Guys maybe just don't have the same longevity as some other guys. So as good as McDavid is, you just kind of never know how it's going to pan out, whether it's with concussion, things like that, or just the mutual interest to just leave the game. So not everybody lasts as long as Ovechkin does. Ovechkin's freaking old, man. And still super effective. But in terms of the GOAT debate in the NHL, much like the NBA, much like the
coming down on me, brother.
What happened?
These bugs are coming down.
Oh no! Listen, this is why you can't be streaming outside,
I feel like Jabba right now, bro.
No. It's that time of the
go ahead,
year.
though, bro.
It's springtime,
Yeah,
so
right.
they're all coming out now.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Go
screwed.
ahead, though, bro. I got the juice out here. They on it.
You know,
Go ahead, though.
in terms of the GOAT debate, at least when you look at basketball, right, there is a debate. I would say there's a strong debate, especially now LeBron continues to do what he's doing. I think there's a legitimate debate there. When you look at hockey, I don't really think there's much of a debate. And there's just one glaring stat when...
You saw Jordan play. How was he looking by the time you got to him?
By the time I got to him, when he was on the Wizards, he was not good.
That's when you saw him, right?
Yeah, exactly. He was not good. And, you know, in comparison to LeBron and what he's doing, he blows old Jordan out the water any day. Like, I mean, it's not even close. So I think that's LeBron's longevity of dominance is where is where that debate comes into play.
That's where, yes, because the short term, because Michael played did his damage in lesser time, no question.
You know, but I'm starting to, that's a debate for another day, but I just want to throw the comparison because I'm starting to lean more towards LeBron anyway, because Jordan early on in his career, before, you know, he acquired Pippen and all that, he didn't win, bro. You know, he missed the playoffs. It's like first couple of years, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, with LeBron, you know, I mean, he took some questionable teams to the playoff every single year in what is a more competitive NBA, in my opinion, in terms of athleticism, but that's a debate for another day. It's still long-standing. My point is, when it comes to this GOAT debate in hockey, I don't even think it's close. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on where... No, it really doesn't. I'm bugging. It's not even close. All right, so listen. Ovechkin tied him in terms of points. No, not in terms of points, in terms of goals. I just said it. 894 goals. And I'll pull it up for you guys right here. The one glaring stat, here's the list of numbers right here for you guys.
Between him and Gretzky?
These are the points numbers you want to look. You want to look right here, off to your right. All right, points numbers, not the points per game, right in the middle, that middle column off to the right there. All right, Gretzky has 2,857, 2,800 points, okay? The second closest is 1,900 from Jaromir Jagr. We love journeyman through the league. And then you got Mark Messier at 1,800. Ovechkin is currently 13th on this list at 1,500 points.
All he does is hit the back of the net. He don't pass.
He don't pass. You know, so Gretzky's greatness.
Gretzky did it all. Gretzky, that's where his greatness.
Gretzky's greatness speaks volumes, man. When it comes to it,
every
right
goal
there.
His team scored, he was involved in it, bro.
For sure. And I mean, you even look at the points per game, man. That's a glaring stat too, because Ovechkin, you know, he has him tied. One less game, he has him tied, but the points per game 1.09. So
There's
Gretzky, Gretzky 1.92 still.
All right, you want to talk? All right, cool. But while Gretzky was getting those goals, he was helping people score goals too. That's
for sure.
Different.
Yeah.
Between the player.
Now I don't know. You could argue defense has gotten better. I would probably not say that. I think offense has gotten better. I think defense has gotten weaker. But it's just the nature of the game nowadays when it comes to hockey. You know, guys hit more. It was more physical back then, things like that. But hey, you know, it still speaks volumes because Gretzky was still getting it done back then, you know, with the assist and the goals. So, again, it's a glaring stat when you look at it. 1,300 more points than Ovechkin. So, I mean, that's insane. 1,300. Bro, Ovechkin's got 1,500 on his career.
What are we even talking about?
You know, Ovechkin's got 1,500 on his career. He's got Wayne. If you take away all the goals, he's almost tied with him in points. That's insane.
Wayne got like 5 Stanley Cup championships too.
Yeah.
Forget about
it. How many does Ovechkin got? Did he win? No, didn't he get one?
He got one. They got one. Washington Capitals.
He got one. I'm pretty sure he got one. Yeah.
Yeah, he got one.
And this is not a knock. You know, it's not a knock on Ovechkin.
I think it's a tap on Gretzky's greatness.
Right. That's really what I wanted to allude to because it speaks volumes for Gretzky's great. And, you know, more power to him being a part of that celebration last night. He took a team picture with Ovechkin and everything. He's happy. He says he's a super humble dude. He's always been very nice. And loves to be a part of the game still, and you know it takes a big role in that. And again, he said this is great for the game. He's glad that he's tied for at least one day. But it's moving the game in the great direction. Again, I don't think there's much of a debate right now for the GOAT. I think he's still our GOAT for sure.
Yeah, right.
Unlike the basketball GOAT debate. So just a little nod to our guy, Wayne Gretzky. Got to give it up to him. Got to give it up to him. To the great Gretzky.
Generation. Yes. The basketball, you can argue it, absolutely. Gretzky's, unanimously. There's no argument.
Yeah.
You didn't even talk about his playoff numbers. He's number one in all the scoring statistics. I bet in playoff hockey. I bet if you went and looked at it.
He's got to be up there for sure. I mean, he played played a lot of playoff too, but
games.
When you start to look at a lot of other guys too, Crosby's the world, Ovechkin, spent a lot of time in the playoffs as well. So, it's going to be interesting. Though.
I bet he has him. He dominates in there too. We'll do the homework.
Yeah. All right, so we got Final Four coming up today, men's. That's the big discussion. We got Duke, Houston, all ones. All ones, bro.
Yeah,
all ones. It's kind of
a tournament that pretty much stayed to form.
Yeah. The Cougars and the Blue Devils will go at 8:49. I'll pull up a little stats for you people right here. Field goals. You see that. Duke, better percentage, 49% from the field. Houston, 45%. Three-pointers, about even, 38% for Duke, 40% for Houston. Right now, who they got favored in this one, Dub?
Duke.
Is it Duke, right? What's the number on that? You got it?
5.5.
It's minus 5.5. There you go. So
that's what I saw this morning. Is it right?
I'll check for you real quick. Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't look at it. I'm telling you what my photographic. Hopefully it's right. I'll tell you guys some nonsense. But yeah, here it is. I got it. Yeah, no, it's 5.5 exactly. I was on it. I got 5.5 against Houston, and
on the ESPN website saying Duke minus 4.5. So
really?
it's interesting.
Okay.
That's according to ESPN Bet Sportsbook. So.
Okay.
That's still, for a Final Four matchup, and, when it comes to down to the record between the two teams and both being ones, that's a significant play for the Duke. A lot of faith in them. Apparently no faith in the Cougars to beat them there. I don't know. What do you think?
In the Sweet 16, they battered them, okay?
Yeah.
Last year. A lot of those guys aren't there. A lot of them are still there,
Yeah.
Duke's got one of the greatest college basketball freshmen ever on their team right now. Cooper Flag, you've seen him. Block shots, he runs the floor, he hits the three, he does it all. Athletic, he's a bad man,
Do you think, do you think he's as good as they say? Do you think he's really going to come into the league and dominate?
What do you mean dominate?
Dominate. Is he instantaneous all-star?
All-star or multiple-time all-star in the league?
No, like first year, straight out the gate, is he making an all-star team?
He's going to be the next guy.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, first year out the gate, is he going to make the all-star team?
If you ask him if he's going to be the next guy, I don't know anymore. I don't feel like, but, like you knew Carmelo or LeBron was when they came out.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have that level of hype to him. But,
I don't know, man. He got Carmelo hype. Carmelo went 1 year to college.
Yeah, all the good ones go 1 year now with them. But, I'm just, I don't know. I've seen the guy play.
We know who he is because of Instagram and the internet for 3 years. We know the kid.
He's got a great athleticism. More so, I think
a grown body. He's a grown man, bro.
He's a grown man.
He's got a grown body, bro. A grown NBA body.
I think
19.
I think the part of his game that I like the most, and I think is going to translate the most to the NBA, is his ability to facilitate the ball. When I watch him play here, he's very crafty. His vision, his court vision is next level. It's certainly way above average than the.
He's like 6'10", bro.
Right, and he knows how to utilize that. And his ability right now is far above average than the competition that he's going up against. I worry how it's going to translate at the NBA level, but I think that's one aspect of his game that he'll be very effective in. I don't know if he's going to be as elite of a scorer. I mean, right now, through the tournament, through the leaders for this year for him is averaging 18.9 a game. 48% from the field. I don't know if it's necessarily going to translate to a dominant, NBA scorer, but this is definitely a tall guy that can, facilitate and be effective. I'm not saying that he's not going to score. He probably is going to be good for 15 to 20 when he's right in the NBA. But I'm looking at him more being an 8 assists, 10 assist type of guy, and maybe filling the stat sheet at the NBA level. That sounds like
he's going to be ball dominant. You're getting 10 assists, and you're at 6'10". That means you're a point forward. That means you're the superstar on the team almost.
I like his ability as a point forward. I like his ability.
That means they believe him. They're going to have to believe him to score anytime they want, in the way the league is now.
You're right. You're right. The way it's set up now, for sure.
Right.
You would hope that he goes to a team that has some scores.
Is he the biggest talent? Who's the biggest talent Shire has coached at Duke? This is Shire's third year or something. I mean, I was thinking Paulo was Coach K's guy, right? Banchero. That was Coach K's last player?
Yes. And he was good.
In 3 years. Yeah, Paulo is a real pro. Is he going to be better than Paulo? You want to ask me that?
Who came out of Duke last? Let's see.
The last one is Paulo's the last big one. They got guys who came out last year.
Yeah, hold on.
But they're not this level. Paulo went number 1 in the draft. Zion went number 1 in the draft. Tatum went number 2 in the draft. You feel me?
Yeah, let's pull it up for the people. In recent years, notable players drafted from Duke. Paulo, Zion, Kyrie. Yeah, that's about it. No other.
Yeah.
Elton Brand. That was 1999. Elton Brand. Why are we throwing up there?
The last one was Ben Carey. Elton Brand is 20. He was the man.
I'm looking at it right now.
Was the last one.
Jared McCain, Kyle Filipowski.
Jared McCain.
Filipowski, baby.
Oh, Jared McCain went to Duke. He's a good
Derek
player.
Lively.
Derek Lively.
Whitehead.
John Shire.
Yeah, it's Derek Lively. That was the last one. 2023. Yeah. Derek and Whitehead.
He's only 19.
Yeah, so Paulo was the big one.
The Knicks were supposed to get Lively, man, but the Mavericks did that BS.
RJ and Zion 2019. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's definitely the biggest player coming out of Duke in quite some time. I would even think even bigger than Paulo, you know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously Paulo's kind of turned into his own and been a real dominant factor in the league right now. But he outside of that, bro, you go way back, maybe Jason Tatum, right? Or Zion. I guess Zion had the hype, Zion had all the hype.
7 years ago. Tatum's 7 years ago at this point.
I'm saying, but yeah, Tatum's 2017. But I'm saying, that level of hype. I guess Zion had the level of hype in 2019. Yeah. Obviously, his career hasn't quite panned out. What do you think about Zion, though, bro? With the Pelicans, right? They shut him down, and I don't think that's on injury, right? That's just them shutting him down. I don't know. I think that's what it is, bro, because I've heard interviews from him. He seems frustrated, bro. He seems frustrated with the franchise. It seems like they just don't want to play him. It seems like there's something going on. This probably has to do with his medicals.
He played his last game.
Yeah, we keep on saying that, but then this guy somehow seemingly is coming back every year. I don't get it at this point. There's another guy that's holding the freaking hostage. You look at Mike Trout over in MLB, man, they're just holding this guy hostage. I get a different situation, different talent levels, obviously, the injury history, but, man, I mean, Zion, he looked good this year, honestly. He looked healthy. He looked strong.
Everybody would agree with you. Well, I'm not going to say when it becomes the narrative, sometimes your play doesn't matter unless your team goes on a 17-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Like, no one cares anymore. So, like, you saying, yeah, he looked good this year, I was going to have to argue with you, but I was like, maybe he did.
I mean, look at the numbers right here, bro. 24 points, you know?
And they called him a bust in the paper, in a major sports outlet the other day. They were calling him a bust.
Yeah.
They were calling him a bust, like Ola Koandi. You know what I'm saying? They were calling him a bust like Anthony Bennett. Like, and you just told me he scored 24 and a half a night. So there's just something that's not making sense right here, right?
It says right here, and this is according to Deadspin, various injuries, the latest back contusion will limit Williamson to 30 games or fewer for the fourth time in his sixth professional season. And, like, that's so vague, man. Like, back contusion. All that freaking is a bruise. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like,
Zion is saying he wants to play. They don't want him to play.
That, you know, that seemingly that's what it is to me. I can maybe try and pull up some audio of Zion.
They should have traded him when his value was up 2 years ago when the questions were coming out. Because it seems like they got problems with the kid, and he's got problem with them. It seems like a relationship that can't be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they're not doing anything good with each other until they part ways. It's good for each other, besides parting ways. It's over.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I always thought that he wanted to come to the Knicks.
But a Luka situation to go that quickly and we not see it, but this one to drag on extra long, it's crazy.
Massively.
Because they like, yo, they remember when we were talking about Luka? We're like, yeah, they feel like Luka's a Zion, and it's fine. But Zion's still in his first team.
Here, there's some. This is after a game.
You think they're trying to slander Zion and make him look bad at some point?
Yes, I do. I think that's a part of it.
They're sabotaging their own commodity by doing that. So they means they're gonna let him walk? I don't know, man.
I think that's a part of it, bro. It seems to be the narrative. I got some audio here, though. Hold on, pull this up.
All right.
You ready? I'm pull this up for the peeps. So this is Zion, seemingly early March. I got March 16, 2024. He's talking about is just comments that I thought were directed towards the franchise. So let's just take a listen here.
Third quarter, after that first half, Pels had to have this one when it came to the season series, guys. Z, congratulations. You now control the season series, which could come in huge to postseason positioning. Was that on your mind and on this team's mind tonight?
It was on our mind in the sense of every game matters. You know, if we want to be in a good spot with the standings, we got to win every game. So that's the mindset.
You held them under their average drastically. They average 114. The other three, you held them to 109. What was the key to your defense tonight, especially on Paul George?
Communication.
I actually think these are from last year. I don't think this is a highlight from this year.
Shot makers. So they're going to hit some shots, but just being physical and still communicating is the game plan.
I don't know who said what at halftime, but you came out on a tear in that third quarter. It's like a switch flipped for you. What was that? Take me inside it.
I'm a competitor. I want to win. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Up until the very last second, you were going hard tonight. It's like
that
you
was
wanted
the
to
comment.
make a statement.
They can take it how they want. I just want to win.
Yeah.
And you did, see. Congratulations. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Guys.
Yeah, love his attitude. Yeah,
that was the comment I'm a competitor. I want to win. Simple as that. So, again, and this is posted as March 16, 2024. I don't know.
Bro, it can't. It's more to it than Zion's eating and he's getting hurt and he don't want to play. Or he's not staying in shape. Because like there's narratives.
He looked like he's been in his greatest shape this year. Like much like Luka losing the weight, he looked great, man. And he looked like he was moving, the athleticism, he was dunking. And listen, again, I showed the numbers just a moment ago. He's got average.
Did you unmute me?
You're good. I did, yeah. Thank you for that, by the way. Yeah, you know me by now. Initially, I did not for like the first 3 seconds, and I was like, shit, got it. But you look at the numbers, for Zion, again, 24.6, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. That's a man. 56 field goal percentage, by the way. Again, that's not a disappointment for me. It seems like
That's
this
not
franchise.
a plus either, my friend.
On the right team, bro, how is that not a plus? I don't understand. How
No,
you.
he played 30 games. That's the problem. That's what someone's going to tell us. Like, he played 30 games.
But that's the problem. I think it's more the franchise, bro. I don't think it's this guy, man. I don't think it's this guy.
I'm going to miss these 52 games. I agree.
But
so that's bad management because, now you're sabotaging yourself by not making this kid is maximizing him. Right?
Yeah. No, for sure. It's just been wasting talent.
You got CJ McCollum to bring him over. What did CJ say about him? We're gonna find out the truth, in a couple of years on one of these podcasts.
Yes.
In about 2 seasons.
Well, you think he's not liked mutually by others? You think that is part of the problem there?
Say, bro. I don't know. Because you're right. He looked fantastic, yo.
That's what I'm saying, man. I don't know.
I wonder what they say. I got friends in New Orleans, yo. I'm gonna call them up. I got a birthday twin in New Orleans, yo. My good friend Beezy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna holler at him from the Navy. Yeah, I'm gonna holler at him. I'm dead. I ain't talked to him in a minute. I'm gonna call him. Yo, what was Zion? He's gonna carry on our combos. Like nothing happened. That's how we are. That's how the Navy boys are. Yo, what up with Zion? What up? Yo, what up with Zion? That's a beautiful thing, yo. I haven't heard from you. Where have you been? None of that bullshit.
Another thing, how many games is going on? 7. All right. So NBA season's coming to a close, and so is this show. In about 10 minutes, we're at the hour 50 mark. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by today. It's been a beautiful show, episode 14.
Yes, it has. Love you guys.
Whether you've been here on YouTube with us today or here on Twitch, we thank you for stopping by. We're going to do a little 10-minute closing segment and get out of here and enjoy our beautiful Saturday. But NBA season coming to a close. Dub, everybody clinching playoff berths. Things are getting tight. Knicks pretty much looking like they're solidifying that 3rd seed. I know the Pacers, couple of games, 2 out of the win column, 3 in the loss column. And it looking like... Well, we only got about 5 games to go here now for most teams, right? 5 to 4. How many teams they got then? 4, 6. No, yeah, either 5 or 6 games pretty much for all teams. I think the Knicks got 6 more to go.
Got 2 home games left for the Magic. I know that.
Magic got 2 home games left.
Stroll into the play-in.
Yeah, you're right. Right there, sitting at 38 and 40 losses. They have a chance, right? They're
staring at the game against the Hawks. Yeah, playing game against the Hawks next Tuesday.
That's going to be interesting. When you're looking at the West right now, you got Clippers, Grizzlies at that 7th, 8th. And that's about it. Mavericks, Kings are the ones trailing. Mavs 38 and 40. After everything that the Mavs went through, they really were just slightly shy, of coming
crazy?
up that.
Phoenix doesn't want to get in. The Mavs shouldn't be in there. Phoenix should have put them away.
You're right. And Phoenix fallen to 11, 35, 42 on the year.
That's it. They're going to try to. They're running out of time.
I don't know. It's interesting because before all the trades and everything that happened, I have to look back, but I'm pretty sure I had the freaking Mavs making the playoffs and everything falling.
Yeah, we did, but that was before everything fell apart.
Yeah.
We said they're going to be fine.
Yeah,
and they're going to have a shot just like the Lakers. They're going to be about the even. But they're doing that.
So no race in the West, though, as we near the end. It's just a matter of seeding at this point. I mean, the 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Same thing in the East, my friend.
Yeah, that's the case, yeah. Well, no, not necessarily, right? You got Bulls and Heat right there.
They're 9 and 10. They're playing.
Yeah, 9 and 10. All right, because you get the 9-10s. You get the 9-10s. It's just a matter of seeding at that point, you get the Raptors.
The only playoff spot I believe is Phoenix that can try to get in. They're the only ones who have a shot to get in.
Well, mathematically, they have a puncher's chance.
Last time I looked, what is it?
I'll pull it right up on the screen, but they're 2 games out. 2 games out of the Kings, out of the win column. So, you know, and what a fall for them here. I mean, they've lost 5 straight, you know, at a time where, like, they really need.
Durant gonna get traded to the Knicks next year.
I know. That seems to be the hot rumor. Listen, I'm so freaking done with those types of rumors that I'll believe it when I see it, you know, type of thing, because
Yeah, man, they'll help.
I'll take Durant in a heartbeat. All right, yeah. So I'll sign on the dime.
I thought you just didn't want to hear about the
No,
rumors.
I've had this discussion with some of my buddies, with my other Knicks fan buddies, and like
you just didn't want him.
They're on the fence. I'm like, dude, what do you want outside of Brunson and Josh Hart?
Durant's perfect.
You can have
who's going to get traded for him?
Oh yeah, I'm saying outside of Brunson and Hart, you can't trade those two.
One of the 6'9" guys got to go. Bridges or
for sure. Yeah. OG. I'd probably go OG.
It's gonna be Bridges. Go back home.
You're right. That would make sense. Yeah, that would make the most sense.
You don't get traded for Durant again, bro. It's gonna be Bridges.
You're right, though. That would make the most sense, honestly.
Bridges and Durant's games are more similar than Durant and OG.
Yeah,
OG,
yeah.
you know, the top jump shot, the mid range. Bridges, Durant's gonna get the points that we wanted. Bridges got 17 tonight. Durant slide right in and get 21 out of there, and they love
back
that.
Up here.
Yo, man, Durant is one of the most efficient perimeter players to ever lace him up. He might be.
Yeah, I mean, he's still getting it done too, and you know, again, that's exactly what the Knicks need. They need that perennial score. They need to go to him. Brunson needs a guy like that.
When I was talking to Gino the other day, and Durant and Curry and LeBron, when you were talking about it earlier, their ages, Durant's going to be 38, 39. He's born in 1987. So he's going to be 39 next season, at the end of the season.
Is he 1987?
I think he's born in June. I'm pretty sure. Maybe somewhere, sometime.
Yeah, he's born 1987. You're telling me Zero's that old now? Jesus Christ.
Yo, he's born in 87, bro. He's an old head.
I'm trying to look.
Yo, old head. Yeah, old head, bro.
Really? Let me check this.
Yeah.
No way.
He's gonna be 38.
1988. 1988. He's 36.
Durant's born in 88.
I got it right here.
It's not true.
Basketball Reference, bro.
Really?
Check the screen. It's right there.
He's been in the league like
September 29th, 1988. 36 years old.
Oh, all right.
Still up there in age. I mean, it's not like he's no spring chicken, you know, in comparison to that.
But Durant was great.
I mean, still, listen, 36, you know, and for a team that the Knicks get, because again, when you look at this season with the Knicks, and we're going to find out, we're going to find out real quick. Dub, where the hell's your head, bro? What are you doing over there? You tired of shit?
Bad, man.
I see that nice shine, bro. That shine. You got to get that sunscreen on it.
I got it on there.
But you did put something on?
Yeah, I did get on there. I've been on it a minute now.
We're going to find out real quick, Knicks fans, man. When Knicks potentially get bumped, you know, let's take a look at the standings again. You know, when they potentially get bumped in this first round, or if they're lucky enough to get to a second round, you know, they're going to get smacked around real quick by the Celtics if they face them. Most likely. Listen, they'd be lucky to find a way to get past them. And if they do, hey, great, wonderful. But this team, they're good enough to be a 3 seed, but they're not great enough to be that top tier. Somehow the Knicks found their way into a 3rd seed, and they didn't beat any of the good teams. Like, it's amazing, honestly. They're just that.
They should.
And without Brunson, honestly, like, it's a mediocre team. You know, like, let's not.
Well, of course they are mediocre without.
You know, no, I know. Like mediocre.
To stay in the same position from when he left them.
Like mediocre to bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? I would say slightly below average, honestly.
They're 41 win team without him.
Yeah. Maybe on the lower side of that 41, honestly.
39.
You know,
fine.
yeah, maybe.
That's all right, fine.
Which is not good. It's
right. But it was enough to stay in that 3rd seed in the time they lost them, and that's what they wanted.
I guess, but this is not. They're gonna find out it's not what they wanted, because now You don't draft well here. 2, now you have to go out and acquire that type of player, like a Durant, in order to make that next move, man.
Bro, there's no question the way you're talking, the way I feel. They're already sealed, bro. First round or second round, the most. They're not beating Boston.
No, for sure.
No way.
But is that not a disappointment? Is that, or are we supposed to be like, oh, golf clap, good for them. They tried, it's all good, whatever. They gotta make moves, man. They gotta do something. What the hell is this? Official chat badge of the year. It takes hard work. What the hell is that? No, I don't know.
You're already talking about next season.
Well, that's my point. And I don't want to get ahead. I would like to enjoy this run. I would like to enjoy. I hope Brunson's ready to go.
I can't wait to see the season. I want to get to them.
As a sport fan,
out, bro, by Milwaukee in the first round.
Right.
Don't get Milwaukee knocked out by Detroit in the first round.
Right.
That's
we got to go out there and win. We got to go out there and win and stomp our dynamites and show that there's reason to come to New York. There's reason to play for New York.
You have to go play that second round series with Boston.
For sure.
I don't think I have that series.
I mean,
even if we get beaten 5, we get our asses kicked, so be it.
And you're right too, because if they lose somehow in the first round, man, there's going to be major turmoil in the papers and the media.
You have a new team in the East who knows they could beat you.
Yeah.
Cleveland knows they can do it.
It's really going to speak volumes. It's going to speak volumes to the franchise and Dolan to find a way to get a player like Durant to come over at that point, because now it's like, okay, now you better. Now you have to. Because now we know you're just not of the competitive level to even compete.
Durant probably can't wait to make the Knicks fans root for him.
Oh, sure. And and I think they would happily accept him too. It would be, you can say, oh, you want, I don't want him. He's old, whatever. Okay, yeah. The second this dude is draining threes, bro.
And that 18-footer.
And the Knicks is tied for second in the Eastern Conference. They dominate. Watch the Christmas time rolls around. Forget it,
bro. If we get him, bro, we'll be fine, bro. As long as we don't give up, we just got to give up Bridges and and no other players.
But you're right though, and it's kind of disappointing when you look at it from an analytic point of view, where it's like
they want Tyler, they get Tyler. Give it to him. Give him Tyler, give him fucking whatever. Man.
It's just upsetting because you have so much high hopes coming into the season, then you kind of find out man, you just kind of not.
There's a point you
that
can't
good enough,
Strong in your heart,
especially in basketball. Yeah,
you can't cross it, and we can't cross them. We cannot. We're not getting past the leprechaun. There's no way.
More so in basketball too, right? Like it's ever more evident, with that, that. Like, there's just that gap, man. At least when it comes down to, baseball and hockey and football even, it's like kind of any given Sunday, right? Obviously having an elite quarterback or having an elite starting pitcher, it matters, but it's like those are the types of sports. Basketball...
Honestly, I know I'm not the only... A lot of people... I know this is a little off, but it's still parallel to what we're saying, irrelevant. But when you, even... Remember that game and... after the Giants and the Patriots played the end of the season, the undefeated season.
Yeah.
Patriots Giant championship season.
Yeah.
When they beat undefeated. Remember that after they had that game, the Giants, that game didn't mean nothing, but the Giants were trying, except for the fact that the Patriots trying to undefeated and the Giants trying to stop them. Giants lost last second at the goal line. They're like, we could beat these guys.
Yeah.
You heard it all over the place, but everyone thought it.
Right.
I even did. But you ain't gonna reach them.
No.
They reached them. And when that night came, they were 14, 13-point dogs. A lot of us believe, maybe because we were just New Yorkers, they could beat those guys, bro. They can do that.
Right.
We believe that. With the Knicks and the Celtics, a 7-game series, round 2, 2025 NBA playoffs, no way. There's no chance, bro. They could beat the Boston Celtics in a 7-game series. No.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah, I mean, listen, one can dream, right? One can dream.
Right. I want to play them, and I'm going to be rooting for them, and I'm going to be hoping they can when it happens.
Right.
I'm not going to say they can't win.
But
I'm going to be like, come on, let's go. But
at the same time, we need to be realistic and understand that, listen, if they do lose to them, it's like all of a sudden it's like it's major disappointment and we're surprised.
Well, we shouldn't be like that.
No. So
this is about what we could say since with Brunson, this is like the second year of. No, we'll say since Brunson got here. This is his third year here. This is third year. Right?
Yep.
So 5-year plan, man.
Absolutely, man. Well, yep, listen, and they're going to have to make that move. Anyway, that's going to recap for today's show. All right, we've hit the 2-hour mark. All right, I'm just going to go over some games that are going on today. We got where the Yankees at today. 4:05 going up against the Pirates. All right, let's see. Red Sox, you got Philly Dodgers today. That's a good one, 4:05 as well. Red Sox Cardinals, you got the Mets going up against the Jays again. 7:10, catch that. All right, you got Braves Marlins. Got a couple of good ones on the docket there. But it was it snowing in Colorado or something, bro? I think yesterday.
I wouldn't be surprised, Matty B.
I think it was snowing in Colorado, I believe. I seen a snow game somewhere. I'm pretty sure it had to be Colorado because Colorado's playing the Athletics right now.
Snow out here. It's
at home.
It's higher out here, bro.
So that's what's going on today. All right, you got a little basketball on as well. We got that going on, both in collegiate level and NBA level. Obviously, women's Final Four. That's going tomorrow, Dub. And
yes, sir. Just Phillies.
And you got the men's Final Four. That's going to kick off. Let's see here. The women's, the final. Yeah, that's going to go 3 p.m. tomorrow, UConn, South Carolina. I don't know. I think I'll be on tomorrow. I don't know, Dub, what's your schedule like for tomorrow?
I'm down. Yeah, I should be around.
I think we could do a show. We could recap what transpired with the Final Four tonight.
I'll watch.
I don't know if I'll be locked in, but I'm going to definitely catch the highlights in post for the men's Final Four. So that's going to be good. What are the times for those games tonight? I don't have it right here in front of me.
I think the first one's like at 6.
Let's see. I'll pull it up for you guys here. Men's basketball.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, you got today 6:09 Florida and Auburn, and then Houston Duke at 8:50 kicking off. So enjoy those games tonight. Some good props there. If you're betting, have fun. Maybe take Cooper Flagg to hit 3 threes. How about that? Maybe he's going to have a hot night, all right? It's going to be, maybe, take a little Houston with the points as well. It's going to be a good night. We got a lot of baseball. We got basketball. Going on, and let's see.
Knicks off at 3, Matty. They got a game in Atlanta for the Knicks at 3 o'clock.
Matinee game, 5 games left. It's a tune-up game for the Knicksies, all right? Ovechkin.
Don't really need it either.
Look out for Ovechkin to break that record sometime this weekend. And we'll be back on episode 15 tomorrow. All right, stay tuned for that. Again, if you didn't catch this show from the jump, you can catch the live premiere that will be posted soon on W's page, W Dubois, on YouTube, all right? And you can also catch it in the live section on Epis Radio YouTube as well, and the playback on Twitch. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. Show up tomorrow if you can. We'll probably do same time, 11 a.m. start time for episode 15. Actually, hold on. I do have some plan. No, my plans are at nighttime, so I'll be good to go. Don't worry about that. So,
great.
Stay tuned for that. Okay, we'll break down, we'll recap everything that happens today, tomorrow, and again, stay tuned. We have another new segment of Epis Radio coming out on Monday, a new Mental Health Monday show. It'll be a weekly show. We'll do it every single Monday. We'll break down my own personal mental health video that I release on the Instagram page. So definitely check us out for that. And yeah, that's it. I hope you have a beautiful day today. All right, keep showing up. Dub, any closing comments, my friend?
Nah, man, just keep showing up like Matty B said. We're going to Mental Health Monday, though, on Epis Radio. It's going to be a grand debut. I don't even know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something big.
Well, and the most important part is that if you can be there, everybody, it's going to be a 10 p.m. late Monday start, but we want to kick off your week right. All right, and we want you to be there, be a part of it, and just have an open discussion about some normal human interactions and feelings and all that hoopla and good stuff. Enjoy your Saturday, everybody. Without further ado, I'm going to end this show and keep showing up. Enjoy. Have a beautiful day.
Yeah, guys.
Broadcasting from the Capital Sports, it's the Matty B Show. Right here on Epis Sports Radio.
I drag it inside every night.
It's a good thing it's not raining, maybe.
Yeah, I got a little tarp, yo.
I just took it.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna cover this thing when I leave. I'm gonna take the computer, I'm gonna cover the table up. Sure.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in today. Epis 14 is coming to a close. If you want to catch the whole show, there's going to be a live premiere soon. Be posted. Look out. Keep those notifications on W's page on YouTube, and then you can also watch it, the live playback on Epis Radio on YouTube as well. Keep showing up, everybody. We'll be back episode 15 tomorrow. Have a wonderful Saturday afternoon.